We start out with a recap of the Michael Kislett fight from last week. Dominic Cruz says it sucks losing. Cruz gets pissed off at Chris Tickle for being a clown and says, quote, "Do me a favor and try to keep your mouth shut for the next week." Tickle pulls him outside and says he wants him to push him in cardio. Cruz says that's what he's been trying to do in a cutaway. He says Tickle may come off like a dick, but he's got a good heart and he's going to find a way to pull the winner out of him. Back at the house, Mike Rio has his knee iced, and Justin Lawrence says that he needs to dig deep and prove he's serious. Rio says he has 10 years left in him as a fighter, and then we go to the gym where Joe Proctor talks about fighting for Lausanne MMA and coming from a broken home which had drug and alcohol abuse in it. His dad has been clean for 4 years and he's really proud of him. Faber has a good sparring session with Proctor and says he's one of their toughest guys and, quote, stable in the mind while, quote, Tickle is a time bomb. Back at the house again, Tickle fills half a jug up with water and props it up on the door waiting for the Team Faber guys to return. And wouldn't you know, Proctor is the one who walks under it and spills it all over himself. He thinks it's funny though. At the gym, we see Vitor Belfort is there to watch the live fight on Ultimate Fighter on FX tonight. Then we go back to the house where Chris Tickle is making Easter dinner and talking about how much he misses his family. Tickle carves up the turkey and talks about how mixed martial arts saved his life and he changed from a person who was always getting in fights and going in and out of jail to being a guy with discipline who drinks a lot less. He says he learned jiu-jitsu from YouTube and that he fights for his family. At the weigh-ins, Tickle is 153 and Proctor is 155. Joe Proctor wins the fight in the first round by rear naked choke with 17 seconds left to go and says happy birthday to his dad. In next week's tournament fight on the Ultimate Fighter Live, it'll be John Cofer from Team Faber versus Vinc Pichel from Team Cruz. In our opening bout of Bellator 65, Ed West took on Makovsky in a Bantamweight tournament quarterfinal that was 15 minutes of non-stop action. This fight was pretty close despite the fact that it was a unanimous decision, all three judges scoring all 3 rounds in favor of Marcos Galvao. I thought West did pretty good in round 2 and landed a lot more damage, especially with the leg kicks, but the judges scored him on the takedown and scored him as the winner of the fight overall. So, great fight, good action to open Bellator 65. Then in a fight that I can only describe as 15 minutes of sparring with occasional takedowns, Luis Nogueira beat Alexis Vila 29-28 unanimous. Not a good fight. The crowd was booing at the end. In a featherweight tournament semifinal that went to another decision, Daniel Straus beat Mike Corey. He won 30-27 and 29-28 from the other 2 judges. This was a pretty good fight in the first round when Straus knocked Corey down on 2 left hands. Corey was outstriking him in the second round, but his face was bloodied up from what damage had been done in the first, and the third round was really nothing doing. Corey just didn't show anything that could give him the fight. And in our main event, with only about 100 seconds left to go in the second round, Eduardo Dantas got a head and arm choke, and Makovsky refused to tap out, instead going out and forcing the referee to stop it by technical submission. Eduardo Dantas becomes the new Bellator Bantamweight champion.